For this exercise, we're going to take our temperature converter application that we wrote earlier using Swing and convert it into an applet. So I've already gotten started on it just because there's so much typing to do. So I've already included all the import statements. I've written the HTML. I've started the class, declared some variables, wrote out the convert function, and now we're ready to move on to the init method. So let's go ahead and get started with that. So the first thing we're going to do is create a label, followed by a second label, followed by a text field to store the temperature being entered. Then our convert button, and then our array to store the two choices for our list. Close the string right there. And then the list itself, initialized with the temps array. Now we set the layout, and notice we're not doing it within a frame. Our layout exists within our applet, the window that our applet creates, so we don't have to reference set layout from a frame. In fact, all of our frame code from the temp converter is commented out. Now the next step is to create a listener for the list. So let me do that. This is a little touchy code right here because it's so long. So here we get the user's selection, the number, the index from the list. Next, we create a listener for our button, so let's move over and do that. We're going to write code for the action perform method. First, we create a variable to store the temperature and retrieve it from the text field. Then we get the scale from the index. Then we place the converted temperature in its label. So here we call the convert function with temp and scale, the two arguments. Now here, got to be careful I get all my closing syntax correct. I believe that's right. All that's left to do now is add the elements to the applet. And then set visible to true. And we should be set to go. Let's go back and make sure that our HTML is correct. This program is called Temp Converter Applet. So we'll save the file. Cross our fingers that we have everything right. Java C temp converter applet.java. Then type applet viewer temp converter applet.java. And here's our program inside an applet now. You see we have the familiar applet parts. We can convert a temperature. Let's take 32 and convert it to Celsius. Gives us 0. Let's take 100 degrees, convert that to Fahrenheit. And there's 212. So applications that we write that are console-based, or not so much console-based, but not web-based, such as a Swing app, can very easily be converted to applets just by following the steps that I followed here. So you see the only difference between this code for temp converter applet and temp converter is, of course, it's an applet, so we have some extra parts. But primarily, the only thing that's missing from this program is the frame. We don't need the reference to a JFrame because we're putting the graphical user interface inside the applet, and the applet comes with its own frame, if you will, that provides us with the basis for our interface. So that wraps up this exercise and wraps up this chapter on Java applets.